but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. This is my time, faster than ever, hungry and I'm going to come back and take what is mine, bigger and better. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. Saddle, cut to the chase. I ain't somebody who stays in one place. Ready to go, I'm coming to play. You better know I still got something to say. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now. I was born for this.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to coverage of the Northwest Racing Series. Tonight is round number 19 of the Northwest Racing Series trucks. The trucks are ready to go here. We are at Michigan International Speedway. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wesley Outland. We've got John Muschin alongside. This is going to be an exciting race tonight. Trucks, the Cup race was rather interesting, which, by the way, John, you were part of on Monday night. Very exciting, very fun. Now we're going to see what these trucks can do. And obviously, it's a different setup. It's a different type of package than what the Cup cars are. What do you think we're going to see here at Michigan tonight?
Well, as somebody who did several Michigan races last week when the official racing series was there, I can tell you can see lots of speed. You see some crazy fuel management because I've seen these guys do that in the Cup Series and the Truck Series. We're going to see a great race. It's Michigan, man. What's not to love?
Yeah, I think Michigan will be very, very entertaining, no doubt about it. Of course, this race this past Monday night only saw one caution flag for the Cup Series. That was it, one yellow flag. It was a very exciting, very interesting race. And when it was all said and done, of course, we saw some sheer domination by some guys, of course, of Lake Peterson. Devin West went on to be the proverbial winner. That's the guy that's not even running for a run for the championship. There's just so many things that are in scenario land. As, by the way, we are closing in on the final 3 or 4 weeks of racing to the playoffs. And the same could be said, John, as we move into this truck race tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a lot up for grabs tonight. These guys can't make any mistakes because when you look back there towards the cutoff point, it's kind of a close race. So we got tonight, it's Michigan. Next week is Richmond, a short track, which, that's going to be fun. But then the kicker is going to be the last race of this period before they go to the playoffs is Watkins Glen, a road course, which is almost as big a joker car, if you will, as, say, a plate race. You know what I mean?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are getting set and getting ready to go for these guys to go. Of course, tonight's event will be for round 19 of the trucks. It is, of course, at Michigan International Speedway. Very exciting, very fun racetrack, 2 miles in length, of course. And again, this is a racetrack where you think of the word precision banking, 4, 5, 6 opportunities for the opportunity of that, 6 wide racing. You also think of tandem drafting, all sorts of things we could see here going on to scenario land. And in addition to that, John, we could see the fuel strategy battle like we saw on Monday night. We could see so many drivers using different type of strategies to decide how they're going to be at the end of the race. So it's going to be exciting to watch here till the end, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, fuel strategy is going to be interesting tonight. You can go about, I'd say, 36 to 37, maybe 38 laps on fuel. So definitely a 2-stop race tonight. But, it's going to depend on if we have any cautions and where they fought. We can see some guys do some crazy stuff as far as that goes.
Yeah, we're going to watch some of these guys on the racetrack right now taking time. And, of course, we'll see all of this happening as these drivers are on course. There's John Annenbacher, of course, the driver of the number 89 machine out of Billings, Montana, currently on track right now as we speak. All of these drivers are getting ready to put down that perfect opportunity. John Annenbacher on track qualifying to set the lineup here for this race at Michigan. And again, 2 miles in length this racetrack is. Should be exciting. It should be fun. We're going to watch what these guys can do here. We're about 12 minutes or less in qualifying run. And again, John, Michigan is that racetrack here where if you do not per se qualify well, I don't think it hurts you, because this racetrack can go through so many different transitions amongst the race itself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, speaking from experience, I made a kind of a, it's my thing. I start in the back of the field at these races on big tracks like this, and that does a couple of things. It keeps me out of trouble if there's a wreck up ahead early in the race or something like that. But you know what else it does? It helps you save on fuel, and saving on fuel is always a good thing. And if you really drive your truck right, you can actually save on tires too, and your tires will last a lot longer back there in the draft, and you'll be able to just start, knocking down those spots as we go through the green flag run. So yeah, right in the back's not a bad thing.
And John Ottenbacher just turned a 7th fastest time in qualifying right now. He's just a little bit shy off the pole here by 0.084 seconds. So John Ottenbacher, watching him work his truck around here at, of course, Michigan. We'll see what type of laps they put down. Of course, Ottenbacher, remember, John, he had some pretty bad, well, he didn't say he had bad luck, but he just didn't do very well in the race on Monday night. One of those guys that ended early. Here's Jeff Stabnow, Billings, Montana, also number 24. And Jeff Stabnow looking to try to put in a good qualifying run in here. Of course, he is the driver that had a pretty solid top 10 finish in the Cup race. Just trying to look to break through finally again in the winner's circle, John. But I think maybe we need to get off the scenario of winning for Jeff Stabnow. Right now, it is just basically be as consistent as you can for finishes to try to put yourself in a run for the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Jeff right now sits 14th in the points, if I'm reading this correctly. And if I'm not mistaken, the cutoff is, top
12.
Top 12. So, yeah, he's got to put some top 10s together. A win would definitely help get him in there. But he just wants to stay out of trouble mainly, definitely with these last 3 races.
And right now, Kevin Smith is the man that's at the top of the board with a 39-33, 39-34 for Devin West. John, I got to ask this question as we still see Jeff Stabnow on track. Here comes now Troy Daggett and his Texaco Haviland, number 99. Could we see a repeat winner? Could we see Devin West try to sweep the races here at Michigan with the truck like he did with the car?
Well, coming in with momentum from as Daggett loses it coming off the turn right there, that's going to hurt his lap. And he's already on his green flag lap, so that's going to hurt him even more. He'll have to reset and try and get the best that he can out of his second lap. But as I was saying, that momentum that Devin's got coming in from the win Monday night is going to help. The car is vastly different from the truck here, so there's not going to be a lot of carryover really, but the truck handles a lot better. It really does. It's a little bit more stable in dirty air than the Cup car is. So I don't know, man. Right now he's sitting on the outside pole, so I think that should answer your question right there, right?
I think it should be exactly very, very quickly answered as Kevin Smith and Devin West right there alongside each other. And, hey, ironically, his father, Dan West Jr., who also had a pretty solid race in the Cup race here at Michigan, is also right there sitting in the number 3 position in qualifying. Of course, these drivers ready tonight for round 19 of the Northwest Racing Series trucks. The Cup cars are on Monday. They're on to Richmond next week. And again, very unique racetracks, John, as you mentioned. We go from last week to Indianapolis. Pocono was very fun. Then we turn around and we go this week to Michigan. Next week is Watkins Glen, or Richmond, and then Watkins Glen. A lot of nice, neat racetracks that are very, very different in comparison that I think are going to be very, very key pointers to determine who's going to get that opportunity to have a chance to go for the championship.
Absolutely. And, Richmond and Watkins Glen both, a bad day at those tracks is not what you want. Not with those two being the last 2 races of the regular season. And the fact that it is, at Richmond, it's a case of your truck getting damaged too much to get fixed, get back in. At Watkins Glen, you go off the track there, you fall behind, half a minute, 2 minutes almost. It's just so hard to come back from that. And I imagine, I'm not sure because I've only been with these guys for a brief amount of time, but I imagine they do not have full course cautions at Watkins Glen, so you really have to be careful.
Yeah, hands down, very, very easily. That's something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on and watch along the way as we see what these drivers do here. As right now we get ready to give you your starting lineup as these drivers are in position, ready to go here tonight. I also have Tomlin scoring in front of me also. Ready to go here. Let's give you your starting lineup here at Michigan. Of course, on the pole is our buddy Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith alongside, of course, Devin West. That'll be, of course, row number 1. Row number 2, we'll find Jeff Stabnow, of course, also Mr. John. I'm sorry, Kevin. Go ahead, John. You take it real quick, buddy. I'm having some.
All right, inside row 2, Dan West Jr. Outside of him, Jeff Stabnow in the 24 truck. Inside row 3, Dennis Moore in the 44. His outside, Tyler King in the 21 truck. Inside row 4, Justin Gee in the 64. His outside, Caden Anderson in the 37 truck. Inside row 5, John Ottenbacher, the 89. Outside row 5, Ryan Bloom, the 25 truck. Inside row 6, Casey Garber in the 94. To his outside, Brett Johnson, number 7. Inside row 7, Cole Raz coming off a good week last week in the 10 truck. His outside, Briar Reynolds in that 12 truck. Inside row 8 finds Frank Harris in the 11, looking to have some better luck this time than he did last week. And now outside of him, you got Toby Big Red Ritters in the 23 truck. Inside row 9, Noah Sherwinski in the 96. His outside, Sean Brightsman in that 46 truck. And inside the row 10, rounding out your top 20, you'll be Stephen O'Hare in the 41. To his outside, Ron Hunter in the 22 truck. Inside row 11, Dean Moore in the 33. To his outside, Paul Newton in the 27 truck. Row 12 finds Chris White in the 6. To his outside, Aaron Cooper in the 71. Inside row 13, we find Carl Burke sitting there in the 53 truck. To his outside, Angel Ortega in the 68. Inside row 14, William Fletcher in the 028. To his outside, BJ Tidrick in the 72. Inside row 15, Troy Daggett in the 99. Qualifying at 30th, Tyler Kim, the 30 truck. Inside row 16, going to be Chris Kamir. That's going to round out your top, what was it?
31 trucks.
31 trucks. Yes.
Thank you, John, for covering the starting lineup for me, buddy. By the way, for people that are listening, watching, it is storming back here in North Carolina, and I do believe that that's kind of causing some internet interference, and I do apologize for that. And unfortunately, trying to make our best with it, with the weather being what it is. I say this jokingly, it seems like every Monday or Thursday night, whether it's in Texas, Louisiana, or North Carolina, or even in Canada when Justin's with us, there's a chance of weather. So anyhow, we press on, we move on, and we are ready to go as the pace car. We'll get ready to drop onto the pit lane. John, we are set, ready to go. This is going to be round 19, Northwest trucks ready to go here. Of course, ready to come to the starter's box. 2 miles this racetrack is. Of course, 100 laps, 200 miles the distance. Green flag goes in the air. And ladies and gentlemen, you have a race as we are underway. Kevin Smith will get the jump on the pack as they'll sit it down into turn number 1 on the early lap.
Kevin Smith with a nice start there. Didn't get away too bad from everybody in the back out west. Kevin and Dan West Jr. right there. 2 by 2 by 2, if you will, back there. You got Stabnow on the outside. One thing I did want to mention, Wesley, the few cautions that I have seen with the trucks at Michigan are kind of late in the run where these guys are getting really loose coming off exit, especially at turn 2, and that wall comes out real fast. We'll keep our eyes on that as this run progresses. But anytime, got kind of a battle heating up here between the 2 West guys. Got Dan West Jr. on the inside, the 5 truck of Dev West on the outside. That's 4th position on track.
And remember, you can drive below the apron. It is allowed. Opening lap, you're going to give it to the driver of Kevin Smith for that 00. Dan West Jr. down to the inside. They are side by side with, of course, Devin West up on the outside now. King on the bottom. Stabnow with the top 5. They're all kind of hustling, fighting for position here in the early going. This 100-lap contest. And remember, this is a 2-mile racetrack, John. If they can get in line, kind of like what we saw on Monday night, they can knock off laps very, very quickly here at Michigan.
Yeah, but these are the trucks, man, and they don't play that way, apparently. They get out there dicing and slicing and pushing and punching for every position they can get. As we watch right now, Dan West Jr. on the inside, 3 wide, 4 wide right here. We've got a hell of a battle right here for second place, man.
Yeah, we certainly do, and there's a little contact. Hold it together, guys, as they get a little pushing and shoving below the bottom of the apron. King will hold on to that. Everyone else also. Caden Anderson threads the needle in the middle. Justin Yee also gave us a little scare there for a second. So did that 66 truck, which is actually the 66 by the time and scoring the 64. Justin Yee, somehow they save it. No harm, no foul through the tri-oval. And we have another lap scored. But I'll tell you what, I'm surprised we didn't see a yellow flag just a moment ago there, John.
Well, the thing is, they got fresh tires right now, and this track is super, super wide. Oh, contact, stab now, sideways in front of the field. That's going to be a big one.
Problems for Jeff Stabnow. Number 24, I think a couple of other trucks got caught up in it as well, and that will send out the yellow flag for the first time here.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. I didn't see who the truck was that got into the left rear stab. Now we're going to see it now in the replay.
So early going for the number 24, Jeff Stabnow, the driver out of Billings, Montana, again caught up in an incident as those drivers just kind of fighting for position. And again, John, as I said, I'm surprised this didn't happen about a lap ago on the back straightaway and wadded them all up.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage to a lot of trucks right there. I don't know who that was that just went skiing on down the inside there. But, yeah, you know, as I was saying, there's usually plenty of room here to go 4 or 5 wide. Got a guy driving backwards there on the track. But, wow, it didn't work out this time at all. A lot of damaged trucks there.
Yeah, a heartbreak there for a driver like Jeff Stabnow right now, doing any and everything he can to be able to try to salvage as many points and make a run towards the championship as he can. And again, that is not what we wanted to see happen for the driver, of course, out of Billings, Montana, as we are again under the yellow flag. Field will patrol around under the tow of the pace vehicle. Dan West Jr., of course, is now going to be the guy that puts them to lead. And I thought he was going to come to the pits there, John, but I think he psyched everybody.
Yeah, playing some mind games there. Talking about points, you said the top 12 was the cutoff. So if my math is right now, he's about 23 points out of 12. Not what he wanted to see. Odenbacher and Ritters are in front of him for that spot. So, you know, he's got a fast repair. So the night's not over by any means at all. But from now on out, he's going to have to be very careful of the moves he makes on track and the people he's around, because any more damage tonight, it could slow him down.
Yeah, for sure. As right now, I just think we're, 5 laps into this race before the first caution flag of the night. John, I just think it's too early right now for anybody to come in thinking pit stops. It's just not the right time to be doing it yet.
No, not at all. I wouldn't come in unless it was 20 laps or more, to be honest with you. And that's what I pretty much saw during the official races was, you know, we had one race that was bad. It was like, I don't know, 6 cautions and 50 laps. But you had 4 of them right off the bat. Nobody pitted, so that's about the right call. And these guys are open setup as well. So, you know, the only thing you probably see is somebody maybe coming down pit road to make an adjustment of some sort on the truck, which is not unheard of, especially in the back of the pack. Truck's not handling right in dirty air, so you want to do a couple things to fix that, take some pressure out, whatever. So, you know, that's about the only time you see somebody duck down pit road, really.
So the first caution coming out for the driver of the number 24, Jeff Stabnow, putting us under the yellow flag. Of course, let's give you your rundown as it stands. Dan West Jr. is the man out in front. Kevin Smith is second. Devin West is third. Winner of the Cup race here at Michigan on Monday night, Tyler King. Caden Anderson, right now the top 5. And again, I think they're going to come to the one to go this time by, John, come back to green. They were hustling, fighting for position there before that caution came out. And the bad thing about Jeff Stabnow and whoever else got caught up in that accident, you got to take fast repair. You got to go on the damage clock, whatever it is that you choose to do. And if you do take a fast repair, it is definitely too early in the race to be doing it. You put yourself in definitely a serious position. I think Sean Brightsman also is one of those drivers, along with Jeff Stabnow, that are going to have to take one. And this is difficult in the early going, having to start over again.
It really is. We had about, I don't know, 6 or 7 cars caught up in that, plus a couple other guys maybe making adjustments and duck down pit road. Stabnow and Brightsman came back down pit road again. So I'm thinking they did not use their fast repair. Instead, they chose to get the damage repaired in the pits. So we'll see how that works out for them. And they should be able to get out of the pits now and come up here and catch the back of the field. They'll be okay. But
and they're on the lead lap.
Yeah, they're on the lead lap still, so they're doing great. So we'll keep our eye on those two, see how they can make their way back up, especially Stabnow and Ottenbach. Ottenbach was involved in that as well, and those two guys are fighting for that last cutoff spot to the playoffs.
Well, all of this happening right now is, again, the yellow flag is about to be rescinded. We're about to go back under the green flag. We are lap number 6 of 100 laps here. Still a long way to go at the Michigan International Speedway. Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith alongside. Hey, by the way, I'm Wesley Outland, John Mustian Jr. alongside of the booth. Of course, Charles Booten has always handled the production for Rocket Media and LSRTV as all of this is going on. As we get ready to come back for the green flag, Dan West Jr. set to send them back to the start. As pulling away is Dan West Jr., Devin West on the inside, Kevin Smith outside. They'll battle side by side. John for the lead in turn number 1.
That was a really strange restart. It looked to me like Dan West Jr. got a great jump, or Smith was asleep at the wheel there. I don't know what happened, but he's going to fall back to third here. Meantime, Devin West down there on the inside of him, fighting for that second spot. Right behind those guys, though, you got Caden Anderson, that 37 truck. He's eyeballing these guys. He's going to see what they're doing. Maybe take advantage of a slip-up or something.
Half a truck length of field working their way back out of turn number 3 and 4. Dan West Jr. hugs the lead to the bottom of the apron. Meanwhile, Kevin Smith, Devin West battle side by side. Anderson now looking at this battle ensue. Those 4 trucks now battle it back into turn number 1.
And Smith can hang out up there. He's in a great spot, really, because on the outside of this track is where you want to be. A couple reasons. You keep your foot in it, keep the momentum going, and it doesn't abuse the tires quite as much as being down there on the inside. So if he can hang out up there where he's at, he will eventually take that spot away from the 37 truck of Anderson.
And Anderson powering down to the inside, battling Kevin Smith for that spot. This is for the 3rd position. Cole Raz also now peeking down to the bottom. There's your top 5 right there with one another. As King is on the outside looking in 6th. They cross the start-finish line. We're also joined by Samuel Dyer. Samuel, pretty good looking field of trucks so far. One little hiccup on lap number 5, but I think we could probably try to get ourselves settled in for a green flag run if they can just break away from this 2x2 pack right now.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Break away, get in a little bit more space in between yourselves. That's going to help all these drivers with some green flag racing. But the big thing for our front runners, just keep that nose clean, and you should have a great opportunity to find yourself a victory lane as you hop on board with the 37.
Yeah, that's on board with Caden Anderson right now, of course, the driver of the number 37 out of Yakima, Washington. Good to see him back here with us. He's missed the last couple of weeks, or at least for the Cup race on Monday. And here he comes down to the inside, making his run, John, on the West family as they're 1 and 2 working off of turn number 2.
1 and 2 with the West guys. Anderson right there in 3rd. Raz has made himself up 4th. Smith falling back to 5th right now. That could be a ploy to just try and save his tires for a little while because, like I said, the long runs here, the 36-lap run on fuel, these tires will wear out. They will wear down. You will lose a lot of grip as it goes on, start to get loose. There are some adjustments you can make to fix that. We got a car off speed and out of the groove here. That's Tyler King, the 21, as we're riding on board with him right now.
21 of Tyler King. He looked back. He scrubbed that outside wall, losing a lot of momentum here, John, and that's why we're seeing this 21 losing over that of 10 positions after that one mistake, and he can lose a lot more with all this chaos back here.
All this chaos back here, indeed, Sam. I see guys all over the track right now. 3, 4, maybe even going for 5 wide. Can we get 5 wide? Sure, why not? Down the backstretch, 3 wide down to the turn.
I mean, it is gaggle. They're just racing for 20th position, and it's all on Dennis Moore trying to get by this group. That's the goal, and he's done it for himself right there.
For now, let's throw that in there for now, because if you look
Caution.
down,
oh no,
oh yeah, we got guys all over the track. I was just about to say that.
It looked like Cole Raz was the initial driver that found himself spun around there, John, and we got to see drivers, the aftermath, trying to close in on that 10 machine. And oh, you hate to see that type of wreck on the front stretch.
Yeah, we've already had one mishap early in this race. Here's the replay right here. You can see what happened here. You see Smith on the outside, Raz down the inside. Possibly contact between these two on the exit of the turn right here. Yeah. That looked like a lot like Netco, actually. Sam, what do you think?
I mean, it certainly was as close as they were, and oh man, you hate to see the 10 come up, but netcode always is a scary thing, and yeah, a driver just, the aftermath, that was the group that we saw coming up to the 10 when we called caution, and one of the drivers that looks to be involved with the first caution of the day and the second, Noah Sharinsky, the 96, just called it a day.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's a little, only lap 14 of 100. I'm guessing he might have been caught up in the earlier wreck as well and had to use his fast repair. So that's unfortunate. We talked about that, Sam, Wesley and I, before his unfortunate power outage there. If you use the fast repair this early in the run, it leaves you open for a bad day. It really does.
Yeah, and there's still about 2-3 other drivers that have used their fast repair and now are in that. They don't have their safety net. They've got to be careful. And with the way we were seeing those drivers racing from 20th back to 28th, that back half of the field, they've got to be nervous for themselves.
Absolutely. I just, it goes against my grain. I don't like racing that hard this early in the race. I will literally just get out of the way. I'll let these guys go, do what they got to do, save my stuff, and let's see if we got anybody. Oh, a lot of games being played there. Wow. You've got to be careful doing that because if you clip that cone, that's a penalty, man.
Yeah, that's a penalty that you cannot afford to get, especially here at Michigan. Any mistake, you're going to need a caution to get back into the mix of things. As a couple of drivers further on back think about getting into pit road, most likely for repairs and others. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here for the Northwest Truck Series racing here at Michigan on LSRTV.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outlet up topside at one of the great racetracks of the world, the Caraway Speedway. And I'd like to remind you to join us every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern with coverage of Finish Line, where we talk to everybody from NASCAR to grassroots, like right here at Caraway Speedway. Carolina's Fox Sports Radio affiliates, iHeartRadio, and on the Community Radio Network at 87.5 FM. And remember, thanks to Live Sim Racing Productions, you can actually see the guest panel, ask their questions, get interactive with us with comments and so much more in our chat box. Finish Line every Wednesday. Join us every week.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC 811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Northwest Truck Series racing here at Michigan. It's race number 19, the playoffs right around the corner. For some of these drivers, this is a very important swing race for themselves. This is our second caution of the day. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is John Musham Jr. And John, already two quick cautions. We've already seen one driver DNF with that of Noah Sherwinski. I mean, it's looking like this might turn into a caution fest race, but I feel like we both know this race can stay green at times.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, this is a pretty good caliber of drivers. We've been watching them week in, week out, both in the Truck Series and the Cup Series. And Sam, I don't know if you heard, but I ran several of the races for the official series here in iRacing at this track in this vehicle. And I mean, for the most part, they were pretty good, but we've just seen a lot of really aggressive driving tonight, which unfortunately has led to a couple of drivers being damaged beyond repair and retiring for the night.
As you saw there as well on that 00, that of Kevin Smith still has a little bit of the scrub marks that he's dealing with on that 00. We'll see how much is that going to affect with that aerodynamics being so important with these trucks, especially here at Michigan. But the pace car is off. Means it's time for us to get back to green flag racing into the Geico restart zone, and we're off with the West family taking us to turn number 1.
Dan West Jr. on the inside, Devin West on the outside, Caden Anderson back there in third, Smith still hanging on to fourth. West with a nice jump. By West, I mean Dan West Jr. up there. Nice jump to the inside the turn there, and it looks like Anderson's given a good fight for the second. Probably going to make a bid for the lead. Going down the backstretch, going to pull up behind him, going to do a draft move, Sam, going down into turn 3.
Yeah, and he's going to get that assistance from his dad, dropping down low, not giving the draft help to that 37. Instead to the 5, the 00 follows in the tracks of Devin West, but trying to hold on to that yellow line. seems to be already a little bit difficult as we're on lap 17, coming to 18.
And it's just going to get harder and harder because I'll tell you right now, all the laps I ran at Michigan last week, the first seam up, to be all honest, where you want to be in both ends of the track. It just seemed the tire wear was a lot better there. See where they're running right now up there above that first seam, and you got Smith all the way down the inside. That's going to kill his tires as we go through this run.
And speaking of killing tires, watch out for that 5. That was a very aggressive entry into the corner, but here comes Justin Yee on the outside. The 66 going for a much cleaner run on the outside, gave him the clean momentum. We'll see out of turn number 4. It's Dan West Jr. leading the way, but that Kane Anderson, he's got to deal with Devin, and now the 66 is starting to get a little bit antsy. Think about going on the outside of that 37.
If Yee is smart, he's just going to draft with Anderson right here, push him out front, and stay up where they're at. That's the best place in the track to be right now. It's all about momentum through the turn, Sam. You know that. I know that. And apparently, Caden Anderson's figured it out. Uh-oh, it's a little loose right there.
Just a tad, but they still have that grip. They're still trying to hold on to these cars the best they can, but wrecking further behind. Back stretch, our next victim of another wreck. BJ Tidrick find himself issues.
That's unfortunate. Tidrick was actually having a pretty good run there. And I'm just really surprised. This is our third caution in under 20 laps here at Michigan in the trucks. Sam, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, recently it just seems like Michigan drivers, they're kind of trying to race it like Auto Club, where they're just trying to utilize every piece of this track, when most of the time you're trying to, like you said, that second seam that the drivers are looking for, that's where you're trying to aim. But watch out here for the 53 and the 20, that of the 72. Just a bad bump, wrong place, wrong time. Wow. And there goes BJ Tidrick.
And, I was hoping he's going to keep it off that wall, but not to be at all. Good news is he's still driving. Better news is there was no smoke coming out of the back, so he'll probably get away with a couple of minutes of damage that could be repaired, or he might use his fast repair. I don't know. It's going to be, I guess, driver's call there. But if it's me, I'm going to let the pit crew handle it for now. Try and nurse this thing around the track for the first half, and then maybe use that fast repair somewhere after the second half of the race, you know?
Yeah, and we're on lap 20. Again, for these drivers, they've only got 3 extra sets of tires in pit road. So technically, you could think about coming in at this time. As we take a look at our LSRTV information here, as drivers maybe play a little bit more mind games, and they do, as our third caution of the day. I mean, pacing at Michigan is a difficult thing to do. It's 2 miles. It takes over a minute and a half just to pace around this track, going only that of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Yeah. You gotta do something to entertain yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the guy that beats up the blue cone on the backstretch, so I get that. I really do.
Oh, the poor cones. They don't have any respect out here.
No, none whatsoever. I refuse to. Let me tell you why me and that blue cone have such a bad relationship. When iRacing first came out in that doggone thing, I guess the collision box or whatever was bad on it. And if you weren't in a very tight zone coming off of the pit road, you got a penalty. And nobody told me about this. And I lost 2 very big races because of a penalty from that cone. So, yeah, I bear a grudge against an inanimate object. What?
I mean, to be fair, the blend line is something that is a rule now that drivers, yes, when it first came out, drivers were struggling with it. But even now, with it being a little bit more lenient, drivers still try to get on that edge, and they still can find themselves with penalties. As drivers did come into pit road. One of the front runners of those that came into pit road was going to be that of Frank Harris, who was up inside of our top 10. The 11 now drops back to that of 25th position, but up front, Caden Anderson, Justin Yee, I mean, that working together on that outside lane worked perfectly. They both got by the West family, and Dan and Devin West now going to be 3rd and 4th position, and it's going to be a little bit of a different start for themselves as they're going to be back behind other drivers on this go.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, though, with those 2, watch them. They're going to team up. They did it last restart, too. I predict that one or the other of them will drag the brake, let the other one in front, and they'll team up and draft right on by these 2 guys in front. I'm calling it now. You watch.
Hey, they certainly are drivers that we know to watch out for. Seeing that of the West family still, they are looking for some great runs for themselves. Devin West, a driver that's found himself in a victory lane, but that was back at the Bristol Dirt Race where he was the odds-on favorite. But Dan West Jr., a Truck Series champion, and he is still searching for that first win. Tonight would be a great way to start to change that momentum with the playoffs lurking very close to near here.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we got Devin West in here also coming in from a win Monday night. Really good win here in the Cup car. So, you know, there's a lot of momentum to be had from that as well. But we were talking about this just Stabnow, fighting right now for that 12th and final cutoff spot. He's about 28 points or so out. Involved in the very first caution, has made his way back up inside the top 15, riding 14th now, Sam. So that's a great comeback for a guy who's got a lot to lose tonight.
Yeah, with Jeff Stabnow going to be lurking in the middle of this field, that's where the danger zone's kind of been. It's either back at 20th or in the middle of the field.
Positive,
so
bro.
hey, he's kind of around where he was when he got himself into trouble before. So he's got to make sure he's crossed his fingers, crossed his toes, and he hopes that nothing bad happens here on this go. But do want to give note, in front of him, Chris Cameri, biggest mover so far, up 18 positions, started in last place, just about to crack into the top 10. Will he crack in the top 10? We'll find out because the pace car is off, and we're about to get back to green flag racing here tonight at Michigan. It's Caden Anderson, Justin Yee into the restart zone, and that green flag is waving, and there goes that 37.
Great jump by Caden Anderson there. He's going to bring in Yee behind in the West guy, still 2x2 behind them with Smith and the 25 truck of Ryan Bloom back there in 6th. And as you see, watch this run the 66 kits right here of Yee on the outside. He'll be able to just hammer down and really drive a nice, smooth entry and exit on these corners up there in that line where he's at. And look at the ground he made up right there on Caden Anderson already.
Yeah, I mean, that exit at turn 2, this 66 has found a perfection there so far at the way that these tires are right now. But they're inside of that heating, you know, changing of the heat cycle on how they're trying to work with these tires. Will be a lap or two, or will we start to see drivers already get loose as here comes Justin Yee once again, giving a little bit of a bubble push to that 37.
37 was smart to get up there in front of him like that, use that momentum to carry him down the front stretch. Now look, see, they've all started moving up above that seam right there. That's the best move they can do right now. It helps preserve these tires just a little bit longer. Now, Yee's got a decision to make right here. How long does he want to hang out back here in the draft of Anderson? And does he want to try and make a move, or does he want to just ride along? My guess here, Sam, is he's probably going to try and make a move here in the next lap or so.
And one of the fastest drivers right now inside of our top 10. It's not even our front 2 or front 4. It's the driver in 6th place. That is Stephen O'Hare, going to be up that of 13 positions. Biggest mover of those drivers inside of the top 10 right now, as he's trying to give a bump and almost taking out that of Kevin Smith down the front stretch.
Yeah, bump drafting really does not work well with these trucks. It should. You'd think it would with the way the bumpers line up, but it's a difficult proposition at best. And as you see, Smith's already got damage all down the left side of that truck. He was involved in an earlier incident, so that probably made him very, very nervous right there.
Yeah, and you don't want to get yourself in a bad push. We've already seen bad bumps, spin other drivers around like we just saw with DJ Tidrick on our last yellow. But right now, I think for O'Hare, being the fastest driver, has the fastest lap put down almost all race. That's the big thing that you got to watch out is you take a look at these drivers and pressuring on one another. There's pluses and minuses to some of these big moves as we have ourselves with a dual screen and seeing our leaders right now all in line. This is kind of what we want to see if you want to see a good long green flag run.
Yeah, absolutely. What they want to do is stay just like this as we ride along down there in the bottom corner with that 41 of Stephen O'Hare.
Called it, and it's over.
Oh,
Raz spun around.
That's 4 now, right? 4 and 26.
That would be 4th. Yeah, that's the 4th one.
I'm kind of let down, boy. I'm going to have to go talk to these guys, man.
They wanted a 4. There's, 25 is a quarter.
Nope. Oh, there's Sam. My brain already hurts today. Don't do it no more, please. As we watch the replay, folks, watch that 10 truck right there in the middle of the screen, that white truck down the inside. My guess is he's going to wash up right here. And, yeah. Nick
run on her.
Again.
It's a little bit of a tap from that 22 and gives even more damage to the 10 machine. But the big thing for Cole Raz, still hasn't used the fast repair yet. And it looks like with the damage that he just grabbed there, not bad enough that he'll have to use a fast repair as we take another look from above on how this most recent yellow just came out.
Yep, you're going to be looking at that white truck right there, folks. He's going to go down to the inside here on turn 1, way down to the inside, I might add. This far to the run, I don't think that's the best way to get through this turn, but that's just my humble opinion. As we watch right here, you'll see him start to wash up as they go exit a 2 right there. He's going to get close enough right there, Sam. Point. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, that's looking like a little bit of maybe keeping too much wheel into it on the exit of the corner. I mean, that's something that, you know, experienced drivers kind of recognize. Let that wheel drift out when you're coming to the straightaways. And some drivers, they try to hold that line so much that they just ruin another driver's run, as all drivers now into pit road, except for a handful that came into pit road on the last stop to take tires. But this is the money. This is going to be a big, important stop for a lot of these drivers. Track position seems to be very important already in this early going.
Absolutely. Now, this is going to put these guys having to pit one more time right around lap 64. No, actually, when we go back to so probably around 66, 67. And this will put them inside the window of making it on that one last stop if we go green. By the way, I understand that somebody has found his way back into the booth. Wesley, you there?
I am. So I'm going to try to stay with you guys one more time. If the power gets knocked out again, then I'm just going to throw the white towel and say I surrender, because I have a lot of money invested in this equipment and I don't want it to get messed up. But yeah, it's pretty nasty here tonight in North Carolina. But the show rolls on. Obviously, we just had that accident happen to Dean Moore. Briar Reynolds, guys, obviously is going to be the guy that'll be in the #1 spot, but yet he did not pit. So Aaron Cooper, Frank Harris, Carl Burke, BJ Tidrick, all of these drivers that decided to stay on course continue along here. And very interesting, different race than what we had for the Cup race, John, on Monday night for sure.
Yeah, and that's why after watching that Cup race Monday night, I really thought these trucks would go much better for these guys, because this is a much more stable platform, in my opinion anyway. But color me wrong. Once again, these guys love to do this to me, Wesley. They really do.
Well, they'll make another lap or so under the yellow flag. Briar Reynolds in the Old Glory #12 Jack Daniels machine is the guy that's going to be up in front. Aaron Cooper alongside on the outside for the restart. Frank Harris, Carl Burke, BJ Tidrick now sitting in the top 5. Of course, Samuel, I bring you back to the fold, man. Michigan, just one of these racetracks where, and we kind of said this in the introduction, where it's wide enough to have 4 and 5 wide racing. And we could see the long green flag run. And mind you, we could still see that. We're only a quarter of the way through this race right now. But obviously, it seems like right now these guys kind of bumping like they're in the funny papers.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a lack of awareness in some, or just a lack of focus at times that we've seen some of these incidences pop up. But also, we're throwing a lot of the drivers that have been quick and usually up front, like a Cole Raz, like a Dennis Moore. They're deeper in the field. They are trying to get through this pack as fast as possible, which can spook other drivers that are much used to running around the same drivers all season long. I mean, this is race number 19 of the season. You're kind of used to the drivers that you're around, and it can't feel intimidating having the faster guys deeper in the field.
Richmond up next week for the drivers of the Northwest Racing Series. Of course, Sim 500 Cup Series returns next Monday night, and that will be, of course, right here at Michigan as well. All of that coming up here in the next week ahead. Pace car getting ready to drop onto the bottom of the apron. Wow, it definitely dropped below the apron a lot longer than usual. Normally it makes just that dip on, but it dropped a little bit earlier than scheduled. And the field finally comes back up to speed. Green flag flies back through the air. Reynolds, Cooper, Harris right now, top 2 settle away. It's about to become 3 wide, John, for that lead spot for third as they go into turn #1.
Yeah, you've got some guys back here on much fresher tires than these fellas that stayed out. The first one of those is going to be Casey Garber. He just came out of the pits. Right behind him, Dan West Jr. Right behind him, Frank Harris, Kevin Smith. So we're going to have a whole lot of trucks here, Sam, fighting for this position, I think, coming out of 3 this next time by.
Yeah, list coming out of into turn 3, exit of 4. Drivers to watch out for. That's going to be Dan West Jr. as well as Kevin Smith. But a lot of our heavy favorites got dropped back further as it's side-by-side for the lead because of Carl Burke. I mean, he completely missed the shift, and it costed lots of drivers on the outside on that restart.
Cooper, Reynolds right there with one another as they settle into turn #2. Cooper to the bottom of the racetrack. Reynolds will follow. Here comes now the West family. That's Dan West Jr. right there in the middle. All this happening now halfway to the back straightaway. As now Smith now gets some company. Tidrick on the outside as well as they go to 3.
Smith down to the inside, making it 3 wide. He's going to make 72 chunk of Tidrick sandwich in that meat right there. sorry, the meat and the sandwich. You guys know what I'm trying to say, right?
Hot dog between the bun. And all that happening as they work their way back into the corner into 1 and 2. Now Dan West Jr. will power to the lead. He'll put the 55 up in front. Runner-up in the cup race to his son Devin, but he had a very long shot at winning this event. Now Cooper Reynolds, it is amazing, Samuel, to see these drivers that didn't pit still showing their strengths here on this last green flag run.
Showing their strengths. I think it's more of just surviving at the really for as much as they can. A lot of these drivers struggling, but Kevin Smith, one of the drivers that found clean air, and that's what's mattering. Stay low, get out of the way. But behind them, that is a gaggle of cars that are making a mess, and it is chaos in there.
Frank Harris down below, tags to 12 of Briar Reynolds. Still no caution yet. As of yet, no caution. They stabule on the bottom of the apron, John. No yellow flag. We stay under the green as you're on board from the back of the tailgate of Kevin Smith and 00.
Watching the back of tailgate of him, watch those two guys spin down to the inside like that. The reason no caution came out, they stayed down there on the apron, which is also where we exit pit road. So iRacing looks for that, and they said, hey, this is all good. We'll stay green for now. I love this shot. That's the doggy shot looking out of the side window. Out of this truck, looking down there at the 5 cars. Devin West working his way back up to the front. Sam, he had a pit stop that put him back in the middle of the pack, but man, he has cut his way up fast.
He's done a great job, but up front issues for Dan West Jr. Contact between himself and Aaron Cooper. And Cooper keeps himself side by side with BJ Tidrick, who brought out a 3rd caution of the day and is on old tires, but holding on. Well, you can see the damage on the 55. That could be hurting him on this long run.
Phil working their way now out of turn at number 3 up to turn 4, coming back down to start finish through the tri-oval. And the leader can't decide whether to go high or low to block either Cooper or West. Bottom line, you got to pick a lane. You can't block them all. He's going to try now. Cooper to the inside. He tries to get a run on Tendrick John into turn number 1.
Now, keep in mind, Cooper's doing this all on 7-lap older tires, and that's a lot of laps, on these tires, Sam, when you look at the bigger picture of these guys that are just out of pit road.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the drivers in the middle. They're handsy. They're trying to make these moves, but it's so difficult because the draft on the straightaways is keeping everyone pretty equal. Here comes Dan West Jr. He got frustrated. He had the lead for a quick moment, then lost it. And oh boy, are they getting frisky back here for the battling for 5th.
Antsy up the racetrack down below the bottom of the tri-oval in the infield, if you will. All of this continuing to take place below the apron, and still this all goes on. 2 and 3 and even possibly 4 wide racing. John, we talked about it. It's happening in the front of the pack out of 2.
We talked about these guys being chill, being relaxed, getting some laps in. No sir, we're going to do 2 wide, we're going to do 3 wide. Sam, we're going to do 4 wide going down to turn 3.
And the aggression in the middle, it's that 37, a little bit of a tap to that of Kevin Smith, as Dan West Jr. is doing a great job. Devin West is trying to get through, but it's 2 by 2. Did we just have a restart? Because they're all packed in together.
Tight pack racing, as Samuel and John reiterated on. They send it back into turn number 1 and 2. Tendrick now inside. On the bottom, off the corners, outside to the back straightaway. Throws the block on Cooper. Down to the inside. Here comes West. West with a push. Here comes a shot in the shorts from Anderson. Devin West, Kevin Smith, and they're all coming after him again, John, out of turn 4.
Oh, 72 truck loose is going to wash up into the 71. 71's going to try and keep off the wall. 3 wide now. 4 wide now through the tri-oval. Sam, I got to hide, man. I can't watch.
4 wide. 3rd place, it's chaos. Contact. There we
go. Oh, here we go. Oh,
you knew it was going to happen. Anderson tags into Devin West. Shades of a big wreck in Talladega or Daytona we have just seen here. Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Gridlock done, and honestly, all battling for up front, and they kept it so close, but you cannot hold 4 wide for very long. No. You have to have give, and it was all take. We're not even halfway, guys.
Right here.
Yeah, watch this.
This is where you saw it going down, Wesley. This is where we knew it was going to go bad.
Yeah, Anderson got in. West got into Anderson. Anderson got into Smith or Tendrick, and then all hell breaks loose from there. Oh, my goodness, man.
Guys, I don't know. This is, see, we talked about this at the top of the show, Sam, Wesley. I told y'all, this is why I ride around the back the first half of the race.
But the thing is, though, Samuel, you're not used to seeing a wreck of that caliber happen here at Michigan. This is something that you would see at Daytona or Talladega or maybe Atlanta with the new pave.
I mean, you got pack racing, you're on top of one another, majority of the field still on some decently good tires. I mean, if you're this close to one another, like we see there, just one little mistake, and it can turn a massive track that can hold 5 to 6 wide at times. But in one blink of an eye, it is a parking lot of junk trucks and the end of the night of a handful of drivers.
But really, guys, if we watch this replay one more time, this started right here in 3 and 4 when the 72 got loose and washed up into the 71. Watch right here. See how loose he is right there? Look at that back end swinging around. And that's what allowed the full wide situation to develop right there.
And you pick your friends, pick your poison, and Devin's trying to get up. Devin's trying to get up, and there's not enough space. I mean, if you're trying to figure out how to enter that corner, when you're 4 wide and no one's taking that wall lane, you get those types of wrecks.
Yeah.
Several trucks involved. Man, it's hard to keep count. Dan West Jr. was able to drive below the apron, somehow didn't get collected. You've got a whole Calgary of trucks on the pit lane, by the way, making pit stops. 31 entries here for this race. Only 30 took the green. William Fletcher unable to start, but I'm thinking of Harris, Devin West. Toby Ritter's got a little piece of it, but I think he drove through the infield, through the bottom of the infield grass, if you will, to the apron. It works for Ware. I would have to say it would have to be Tidrick and Anderson. Maybe the 2 trucks that got the worst end of that deal, maybe. What are you thinking, John?
I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of fast repairs used up. I'm also thinking I really wish we had a way to tell exactly who received damage in that wreck, but we don't, unfortunately. But just from watching that replay just now, I'd say a good 8 or 9 trucks were involved in that. Stabnow, I think, was involved one more time. We know Anderson was. We know Devin West was. Chris White, I think Ortega was involved in that. We still have guys on pit road now. A minute of repairs going on. Guys, this was a big one. I mean, this was really huge. This wiped out some really fast players in this picture that we've been watching tonight.
Hey, you know, Samuel, it's like I said, it shades of what you would see at Daytona or Talladega here. You're not used to seeing a wreck of this caliber happen at Michigan. We're just not used to seeing it.
Yeah, and you know, I threw it out there also with coming into pit road under a yellow ago is the fact that these drivers are trying to keep the track position. That's why you had a handful of drivers, you know, come into pit road a lap earlier, then stay out. So you had that 6 drivers on older tires. And it was just a formula of everyone trying to get in the best position, getting closer to, you know, what potentially could have been the money stop if we had stayed green. So it was all the eyes and minds of get up front, keep yourself out of trouble. And I did a count. Only, it looks like 11 to 12 drivers still have their fast repair.
Wow. How do you tell that? Where do you see that at?
I've on my live timing that I have for myself.
Oh, you turd. Okay. And you're not going to share that link, I'm guessing, right?
I can't share. I can't share.
That's too bad. I got you. Well, you know, my heart goes out real quick. Our producer, Cody, trying to pick a truck to show us that last replay. I can hear him mumbling to himself over the air. I don't know where to start with this.
Well, awesome camera work somehow, some way, finding out what happened. And you all, whenever we saw that break loose, Samuel, John, and myself, and even the producer, our background guy, he hold your breath because we didn't know what was going to come out of that. You see the end of it. Pace car is in. We're going to try this again. 9 laps to the halfway flags here at Michigan. Still a long way to go. A lot of trucks, as Samuel mentioned, having fast repairs here as there's still about 14 or so left that have not. As there goes Smith, Daggett, Camary, Moore. I think when I first returned back after weather issues, John, he was the cause of a caution. Dean Moore, 33. Now he's back up in the top 5 of the back straightaway.
I was going to say maybe these guys will calm down now, do a few laps and get sorted out. But no, here we are, three wide going down the lead. Sam Moore takes a huge move right there, Sam, going down into the turn right there for that lead.
Well, yeah, he dove it down, but you're going to see the hurt as, oh, Burke, he's a pinball in the middle of this group. We're 3 wide, 4 rows deep right now.
Again, I would have thought they would have calmed down. Sorry, Wesley.
Not even a lap after the yellow flag and a big wreck, and they get right back to the same old cliche again. 4 and 5 wide, working their way off of turn number 2, taking advantage of every inch of the virtual Michigan International Speedway. To the back straightaway, it's Kevin Smith, though. He goes back to the lead, but he's not for long, though. There is a log jam of traffic behind him going to 3.
Contact back there between the 53 truck. I didn't see who the other one was. It looked like the 22 of Hunter, but they managed to keep it straight and green. And guys, I'm telling you, this is insane. These guys they have no chill at all, Sam.
None at all, and this is now the battling for the lead. Let's go 3 wide, and Aaron Cooper might try to take it 4 wide for a quick second there. Troy Daggett, a driver that hasn't been up front very often, but he's now going to be up in our top 5, but it's side by side between 2 of the heavy contenders, Cole Raz as well as Dan West Jr., who are 2 drivers that have been involved with some wrecks here already this race.
Dan West Jr. came so close to winning the race for the Cup cars here at Michigan on Monday night, and then of course that little slip, that little opportunity for Devin West, he took advantage of it and capitalized. And right now, as we watch these trucks work their way back down to the tri-oval, it is Raz now, the new leader in the number 10. Raz powering to the front. This goes on as they go into turn number 1, John.
Cole Raz has the lead right now, but I don't know how long he's going to keep it. He's got Dan West Jr. right there on his back door. Right behind Dan West, you see Aaron Cooper in that 71 truck, 21 spots up from his starting position. Having a great run tonight. We'll see if he can keep dodging the bullets that have been lobbed at him, Sam, throughout this race.
Yeah, I mean, it has been aggressive, and for Dan West Jr., he's a little concerned. The last time these 2 drivers of the 55 and as well as the 71, there was contact between them both, and it was for the lead. Will that of Aaron Cooper get too aggressive once again? It looks like he'll just stay in line for now, but it's all about who's going to feel risky enough to dive bomb it underneath that 10.
Working through off of turn number 2 now to the back straightaway. All of this happening with Raz, the leader, out in front. West the second, Cooper third. Someone jumping out of line there. Justin Yee. Timing and scoring has him as 64. He's in truck 66 on course. He now battles along with the machine of Daggett, Brightsman, Moore now falling back. All of this happening, John, off of turn 4 as we're approaching halfway.
Starting to get a little bit strung out right now, Wesley, as we come down through the tri over here. You see Devin West back there in the 5 trying to make up some of the ground he lost. You got a very damaged truck of Kamir in the 15 right behind him, sneaking his way back into the picture. King in that 21 truck. Sam, we saw him earlier in the race, but he kind of faded back after a couple of cautions. And Stabnow on pit road.
Stabnow, he has a black flag, too many incident points, a drive-through penalty for the 24, and now he's got to get back rolling. I believe the contact was between himself and Caden Anderson, which Anderson stuck mired in that of 18th place. He is stuck in no man's land, really trying to just find a way to get back up with this lead pack.
Tough break there for the driver, of course, of Jeff Stabnow. 12 incident points counted. 2 if you get a black flag, 16. And then, of course, if you get more than that, 4 more is 20. So it's 12 for a black flag. Another 4 more is a second black flag, as Samuel mentioned it. And, of course, if you get more than 20, then you are disqualified from the race. And that means, Samuel, no more black flags. Your basically night is done.
Yeah, if you get 20 incident points, you are disqualified and you will be automatically removed from the race. If you're on the racing surface, iRacing will just pull you off the track and they'll just disappear. So all eyes, with the amount of wrecks that we've seen, it could happen where we could see some disqualifications with the amount of incidents we've seen. Is, oh no, into the grass, it's Kamari.
Chris Kamari. He saves it though, John. No caution, bud.
Yeah, I was going to say his truck is beat up bad. And to touch on that penalty, incident point penalty situation, we've got a lot of trucks right now on track staring down the barrel of that gun. Like you guys said, because of the 3 or 4 really big wrecks we've already had in this race, like Stabnow's case. Let's be honest here. He didn't really do anything wrong. He just got caught up in other people's wrecks. So he's looking down the barrel of another disqualification if he's not careful.
And at 1-5 Studios, number 15, Chris Kamari's truck even though got some damage, could drop down to the bottom of the apron. And after going around, or at least having some type of issue, keeps going. So we stay under the green flag. We are coming to halfway next time by. There's the leaders working off of turn number 2. Raz has got Cooper Bug Eyes all over his back door, Samuel. This goes on as they finally go single file, going to 3 to the cross sticks this time by at Michigan.
I mean, this is absolutely incredible by Aaron Cooper, and this is the type of race I was talking about where drivers need to step up. There's only a handful of races left in this regular season, and for this 71, he's trying to get a win, maximize his points potentially here. He's 16th in points. He needs a miracle to make it into the playoffs, but hey, if he wants to have that Cinderella story, it starts here in tonight.
All of this happening, John, as they work their way again off of turn number 2. Cross flags in the air. 50 laps down, 50 to go. Your take of the first half of the race, and what do you think we'll see in part 2 as Raz leads them to 3?
Raz leads them to 3, and I'm telling you right now, the insanity we've seen the first half of this race, I think is probably going to continue, maybe at a smaller scale for the second half, because we just don't have that many trucks left. But I don't think it's over with by any long shot, judging from the aggression we're seeing here, Sam.
That aggression certainly is there, and it's something that's going to be dangerous to watch out for, especially on the fact that now all eyes are when do you come into pit road. The money stop, that is what we're keeping our eyes on if we stay green, which that's what we're hoping to see for the rest of this race.
All of this happening now just after halfway on the back straightaway. Kevin Smith, beaten, battered, damaged, and bruised, still battles along with Justin Yee and that 66 machine. They work their way now into turn number 4, coming back to start finish. And this continuing to happen for position number 4 and 5, as also lap traffic is in the way of these leaders as they clear them going back into turn number 1.
That lap traffic being that of Ryan Bloom, the 25 truck, a lot of damage on him still. And we were talking about pit stuff. Some of them are starting to eyeball pits now. These guys that have been out on track since like lap 13 for Dean Moore, guys that are still looking for that last stop to get it out of the way. Now, the money stop, the furthest they go, these guys that have been out since lap 39, we're looking at lap 74. So keep your eyes on that number. That'll be the time we're going to see those guys come in, barring a caution before then.
I gotta say though, up front they're looking like they're good, but the battling back for 10th place is for 9th place, excuse me. That's if we're gonna see a caution, it's gonna be from this group.
3 wide again in front of Frank Harris. Now King to the bottom. He'll take Garber with him to the inside. Daggett hung out to dry up on the top shelf, and they'll work their way off of turn number 2 to the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway we go, and when you look up and see these guys still fighting 3 and 4 wide, you know they just had zero chill. Smith right there to 21. He's got Frank Harris right in front of him. And on his back door, he's got King. Sorry, that's King the 21. And behind him is Daggett in that 99. So we got a great fight shaping up right here for about mid-pack, would you say, Sam? Oh, into the wall right there.
Yeah, don't want to be getting in the wall at all. And these drivers all battling to get into the top 10 or stay inside of the top 10. But the battle for the lead, Aaron Cooper takes it for 1 lap, but then Cole Ratz takes it right back for himself. But the driver that's on the charge, been talking about it, how this team, Wesley, LSRTV racing team, they have been struggling on finding wins, especially for drivers that used to dominate this series. Sean Breisman, though, he's climbed his way through, qualified back in 18th, up 15 positions. 3rd place and looming in a good spot.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good night here the other night, Samuel, for LSRTV CRN crews as they finished 1, 2, 3, and 4 here at Michigan in the Cup race, but now trying to return and do the same thing here tonight for the trucks as we see Dean Moore, the Moore Speed Beaver State Racing Chevrolet, coming onto the pit lane. John, are you thinking money stop right now for the 33? I really just don't think we've hit that mark yet.
Oh no, sir. He can't go that far on fuel. However, this is about right for him because he's been out on track since lap 13. That was the last time he pitted. So this is about a good spot for him to get in here, get some tires, get some fuel, and see if he can't maybe take advantage of when everybody else has to come down pit road.
But Samuel, back to your point about when you were talking about these drivers in the past that have just done so well, the Brightsman, the West, the Stabnows. These new drivers that obviously we saw the growing pains that they've had from ARCA Northwest, or when they started in the Northwest last year or a couple of years ago. like Cooper, like Yee, like Harris, like Smith, they're now getting the opportunity to show that they've learned something here racing with this caliber group of Northwest competitors.
Yeah, I mean, we take that translation from how some drivers are going to be comparing in that Cup Series on Monday nights to the truck side of things. I mean, when I say a team is struggling, it makes sense when you think on the fact that this is an open setup league on the truck side. Compared to the Cup side on Monday, that's a fixed setup league, meaning that all the drivers are running in the same exact car, but for these trucks, it's the team-wise. Did they build the setup that's going to get you to victory lane as into pit road is going to be this driver into pit road for himself?
That's going to be the driver, Ron Hunter, the 22 truck. Oh, my goodness. He's got some fenders to bang out right there. And I don't know. Has he already used up his fast repair there, Sam?
He has not.
Interesting. I would have thought that with all that damage, he'd have gotten that fixed.
See, he's a Colorado Avalanche hockey fan.
Go Avs.
Didn't they win the Stanley Cup this year? I think they did.
Yes.
And there you're back on board, Frank Harris. Another solid top 10 run for this driver right now on track. Garber also looking good. So is King. Just as Samuel mentioned a moment ago, there was positions 8, 9, and 10. John, of drivers we normally see in the back are wrecked out early.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that's what happens when you have humongous multiple truck crashes like we saw, like you referred to there, Wesley Talladega-style wrecks. Speaking of pit stops real quick, guys, I imagine we're going to see the double nut of Kevin Smith, who right now currently resides in 6th place, making a stop pretty soon himself. He's been out since lap 27. He could probably go maybe another 15 laps or so, and that will be his must stop.
All of this happening as they work their way back to the back straightaway. That's Kevin Smith right now in the 6th position, 7th with Yee behind him as they work off turn 4, coming back to the start-finish line. Working now 40 laps to go. And all the while, round 19 tonight here at Michigan International Speedway. 200 laps at Richmond next week. Watkins Glen to follow the road course. Then we take off for Labor Day. And then we return for the final race of the regular season at Darlington Raceway. Samuel, I'll bring you to the fold because you followed the trucks most of the time this year. Those are 3 very unique race courses. Even if you count Michigan tonight, Indianapolis, and even New Hampshire and Pocono before, that are such unique tracks to figure out as we get down to these final races to determine who will make the 12th to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, those last 3 races of the regular season, very tough tracks. Richmond, tough on those brakes, and the drivers got to be focusing very difficult on that. Road course racing, we kind of already know who the top runners to watch out for, but it could be a struggle for some of those bubble drivers to watch out for. And then Darlington, the track that you never know what's going to bring out, if it's going to have oh no, Dan West Jr., issues for the 55.
Oh, wow.
He is upside down. A single truck crash for the driver of the 55 out of Shelton, Washington. Runner-up in the Cup race on Monday. And Samuel, you saw it break loose. He ended up on his lid. That'll draw a caution flag.
The big thing to watch out is going to be the exit of this corner. And this is going to be a tough pill to swallow. But it's something that's happened a couple of times when you got father and son D2. Is a little bit of a tap there.
Oops.
And then just doesn't seem like it's able to slow down. But look, I mean, the way that truck just dipped, it was almost like you just didn't know where the truck was after the contact.
Yeah, maybe a technical issue it's in, but he got really loose right there, about middle off of 2 right there. I don't know if you guys caught that. And that's what allowed Devin to get so close to that bumper coming off a turn. I don't think Devin understood that, Dan was having some issues at that point until he actually got in the back of him.
I think we need to go on board with a shot of Devin West and see on board if the 5 made contact with the 55 or if it's something of another level here, possibly a type of We're trying to find out actually from race control and drivers himself, and pit stops is coming in. John, money stop for these
Money
guys.
stop.
You think?
Yes, sir.
This is
Absolutely.
It? Money
yes,
stop.
sir. This is going to put them all in the window of making it all the way on fuel. Now, don't screw up, boys. This is
I was
the
going to
big
say
one.
that, Samuel. I was going to say that. John took the words out of our mouths. Do not make a mistake, especially when this is the money stop for you.
Well, we say that now, but with the way that these drivers have been running with fresh tires, I wouldn't say that you're completely out. Making a mistake and maybe deeper in the field might be a blessing for some, as drivers are getting off and running from their pit stops, and it's looking like Cole Raz is going to be the one to beat out for himself. But some other drivers decided to stay in pit road. There were a couple of incidences of drivers being put into the outside wall, others deciding to use their fast repairs on this pit stop. So, you know, decisions on where you want to place yourself certainly out there.
All this happening as Cole Raz enters first, exits first. Sean Brightsman right there behind him. Of course, Aaron Cooper, Devin West, as everybody came down to the pit lane as far as the front runners. Okay, so we had some technical issues because of the weather when we came on the air. We didn't really get much into the run of the playoffs, but here's the deal, John. Dennis Moore has the points lead after picking up the win, obviously, last week. Your pick, mind you, at Indianapolis. And he has an 8-point lead over Cole Raz, who wasn't present last week. Neither was Caden Anderson. They're back this week. And, of course, right now, 23 back for Caden Anderson. Paul Newton, the road course king, is only 20 points back. Now, all of this resets, remember, when they move into the playoffs. Obviously, at the end of the racing, 18 races. Well, the minimum is 18 races that you need. 3 worst races are taken away to reset your 15 best to determine who's going to go to the top 12 to the playoffs. But honestly, John, if your guys, and we're seeing it, Raz, you're seeing King, you're seeing Brightsman, you're seeing even Dan West where he went flying through the air, Kevin Smith, you're in the back, you're in the top 12, you're trying to get as many positions and points needed to make a run to stay in the top 12 or make a run to be able to get in the reset to hit the playoffs.
Absolutely. And look at guys like Ottenbacher and Sav now that are right down there at the cutoff line, having a bad night already, but still staying in the race. And right now, Ottenbacher 15th, Stab now back there at 18th. Not out of this race by any means. Both of them got their trucks fixed up, and they've got some fresh tires now. So we'll see how they do as we come back to green here, Sam.
Yeah, coming back to green, you know, touching more on those points, another factor to watch out for is a drop race for these drivers on how that would affect the point standings. We see how they look like with a lot of these drivers standing, but that drop week takes your worst run, worst race that you've had, and then it allows you to get those points a little bit closer. So some of these battles could be closer than we actually think.
Be very interesting to see how things shake up. And as John, Samuel, and I reiterated on before we get ready for the restart, you think of tracks like Michigan, Richmond, of course, the road course at Watkins Glen, and then Darlington. Any and everything will happen to certainly shake things up a bit to determine who will be the playoff 12. And it's unbelievable that we are already talking about the playoffs and the end of the regular season. Green flag back in the air here at Michigan. It's Raz, Cooper, Brightsman, West. John Yee now sticks his nose in the top 5 as they work off a turn number 2.
You see Cooper down there on the inside, Yee down there on the inside. That's going to work for a few laps with those fresh tires, but they're going to want to get up in that outside lane as soon as they can. We talked about this earlier in the show. Sam, you know what I'm talking about. Get up above that first seam down there. Save those tires for the longer run because we just had a long run. This could go all the way to the end. Well,
the big issue right now for Justin Yee is there is no opening. He hasn't found a pocket to drift up, but with Sean Brightsman, a little bit of a shuffle could give a chance. Smith's now going to give a little bit of draft help to the 66, and now it's the tool of who's your partner tangoing, drafting on the straightaways to turn 1.
Raz behind Cooper, Brightsman behind is West. Yee had Harris with him, and Smith also there with the driver of Daggett. All of this, King also in that mix. 1, 2, conga line, do-si-do, as you will. I think we heard that mentioned earlier, John. All of this happening is who's your friend right now? Is that now Yee got a, wow, where did he come from? He moves to 3rd.
He's taking advantage of these fresh tires right now. I mean, it's incredible how much speed you can carry down through these turns on entrance, especially way down low. But like I said, and Sam can back me up on this, that's just going to do nothing but wear out those right side tires faster than anybody on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing right now, Yi understanding he needs to get in front of this field, and so he can move up. He was one of the most dominant drivers on that last stint before our second to last caution we just had. He was really pushing that Caden Anderson. This 66 needs to get this pass done here through 3 and 4. He's clear, and here he comes, the 66 of Yi to the lead.
Justin Yi, part of Super Friends with Cole Raz. Caden Anderson contact. Harris gets into Cooper. Harris drives through the grass. Cooper drives through the grass. They both stay on the straight narrow, at least going on their own off reservation. And now they come back on course. No harm, no foul, Samuel. We will still stay under the green flag.
We stay green. The reason why they were off the racing surface and in the grass, they never found themselves pointing in the wrong direction while oncoming traffic was coming, so we stay green. And Justin Yi, Bridesman, your front two as Raz falls back to that third.
Let's call it what we will. That was outstanding driving. Yes, they were in the grass where it's supposed to be, but man, if you've ever taken one of these trucks down to the grass, you know, Sam, it will loop on you in a heartbeat. So that was outstanding driving. In the meantime, up front, Justin Yi still has that lead. Bridesman having a great night right there in second place. I'm on that lead, though. The question is Raz going to help him pass for the lead, or is Raz going to fight for that spot to take the lead himself?
You know, John, what just happened was a lose-win, a win-lose, if you will, for both of those drivers, of Harris and as well of Cooper. They were all the way in contention, and then they fall all the way back. The only good thing that came from that is they did not damage their trucks anymore or get caught up in an accident, but they've got some big ground to climb to try to get back up in there. And what's disappointing is they had that opportunity to experience what was it like. Harris and more Cooper to battle up front, battle for the lead, be contending for a win. I think that's a good vibe and the high that they really enjoyed seeing that.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Downside is now Cooper finds himself, Cooper's on pit road now. So Toby Ritters is also on pit road, or Toby just got loose, I think. But yeah, Cooper's now on pit road, so that's going to hurt, man. That's going to be now his only hope to get back in that picture you were just talking about, Wesley, is a caution.
And Samuel, they're coming your way out of turn number 4, and we are under 30 laps to go now.
Yeah, and big note for these drivers that are up front. Only 2 of them so far. That's Kevin Smith as well as Troy Daggett. Those are the only 2 drivers that still have a faster pair. So this aggressive racing that we're seeing up front, yes, we're less than 30 laps to go, but they've got to be careful. And also of note, the 23, Toby Ritters, internet issues for the 23. He might be dropping here soon.
Oh, those internet issues. Huh, Wesley?
Oh, well, it'll affect us in the broadcast booth as much as it can affect the drivers on the track. Yes, sir. Finally, things have died down a little bit. I don't hear any more thundering, if you will. That's Harris there with O'Hare. O'Hare, one of those drivers that we mentioned, John, that is inside the top 12 of the point standings. He needs to have a solid finish. He needs to get up there in the top 10 to make a run here, as right now he sits comfortably in 11th.
Yeah, he's got a great run going right now in 11th, and that's what he needs to do. Like you said, have a solid finish right now. And for the most part, if you think back on it tonight, Sam, the 41 truck over here has tried to stay out of trouble. He's given spots up just to let those guys go back and eventually crash, which we've seen a couple times already.
Yeah, the first 30 laps was kind of the bright spot for the 41 of O'Hare. O'Hare, ever since then, was caught up in the big wreck and just was never able to rebound for himself. But speaking of rebounding, at the tail end of this lead group, it's the 37 of Caden Anderson. He needed that last yellow to get back up into this lead pack and an opportunity. A driver that was dominating the first 10 laps of this race, well, he's now back in 8th place, and this is a calling. Caden Anderson, always a threat if he's up front in the final laps.
And Caden Anderson is going to have to find a way to get back up in here and battle one more time, as he was in that contention right there with those trucks right before halfway when they were sticking it 4 wide, 5 wide in some occasions, and he got tagged, hooked, turned, and now he tries all over again to try to get back here and make a run. It is Brightsman, Yee, Raz, your top 3. West and Smith, your top 5. King on the outside, along with Anderson and Daggett, John, as they work off 2.
Anderson and Daggett look to get a little bit racy back there. Look at Brightsman snaking down that backstretch, trying to break the draft up right there. Let's get back there to White and those guys back there, 6th, the 6th, the 11th, and the 41 back there for 9th, 10th, 11th. They got to be careful right here because up in front of them, they got a great fight going on for the lead, but a mess up there in front of them could lead to a catastrophe for those guys back there trying to stay in the top 12 in points. Meantime, up front, guys, have you noticed that Brightsman really hasn't pulled away from Yee? They're all kind of like bunched up right there.
Yeah, I mean, they've been keeping it close for sure with themselves. But Sean Brightsman, he certainly is trying to keep himself out of trouble because Aaron Cooper, he's now a lap down, but Cooper just did come into pit road to get service done after making contact with Frank Harris. 71, we saw the speed that he had. He's trying to stay high and out of the way, but the momentum's too strong. But big kudos showing mental fortitude and just never give up attitude. Sean Brightsman leading this race, and he's the driver that's had to come into pit road the most here tonight. He's pitted 7 times, doing all the damage repair he could, and now leading this race.
Amazing strategy for the driver of the 46. And mind you, John, he was involved in the opening wreck with him and Jeff Staff now. So a way to come back here. And also, Aaron Cooper now trying to fight to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. You see his truck in front of the leader of Sean Brightsman. This is a battle we're going to have to see. Obviously, I know Cooper wants to see a yellow flag. I just don't know if it's going to happen right now.
I don't know either, but that's what he's hanging on for. And like Sam touched on, he's not intentionally staying in front of the leader. He doesn't have a choice. His truck's not damaged. His truck is fast. He just got down into the grass earlier and lost the draft, so now he's got to deal with trying to stay out of the way, but at the same time, he really wants to spend that lead lap. Meantime, looking out the back door right here, Sam, and Sean Brightsman looking back there on Justin Yee's truck. You got to think, Sam, what's Sean thinking right now? Is he thinking, do I keep blocking? Do I keep drafting on Brightsman? What do you think he's going to do here?
Well, I think he's more so a little bit irritated on the fact that he's got Aaron Cooper in front of him. That's dirty air that is affecting this 46 machine. It could be causing him to use a little bit more of those tires, but that's looking through his windshield. Looking in his mirror, he is certainly getting a little bit more nervous on the fact that that end of the lead group, those drivers that are in 6, 7, 8, 9, they are not giving up, and they're actually hurting themselves from keeping up with this lead pack.
All this going on is right now these drivers know they're in the final quarter of the race. Is right, lap 78 is on the board. Cooper, that 71 truck, who at one time, well, not even what, John, 10 laps ago, had an opportunity to race and have a shot for the win, tagged with Harris, fell back, and now he's on the tail end of the lead lap. The leaders are just running him down like hot pursuit to the line. 20 laps to go next time by, and Brightsman now has also got to be mindful because as he tries to get around Cooper, he also, John, has to look out for Yee and Raz, and also Devin West, who won here in the Cup race on Monday night. He's sneaking in the top 5 off 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brightsman's got an advantage, though, with Cooper out in front of him like that. Obviously, Cooper's truck is strong and fast and can stay out front, so Brightsman's not having to check up. And he can use him to help him draft down the backstretch to keep those guys behind him in case 66 gangs up with the 10 truck there. You know, if Yee and Raz get together, they could possibly draft by the 46. But with Cooper in front of Brightsman like that, Sam, would you agree that he can help use that draft to keep himself out front?
Yeah, I mean, there's pluses and minuses of having a lap car in front of you. It certainly can help in some areas, but we're seeing some drivers trying to they felt like they saved their tires. And that's Caden Anderson utilizing that bottom seam, and this 37's maybe has a little bit more speed than he likes, but that draft we were talking about, all that time and positioning he just gained, losing all of it and more because everyone else is in line.
Everyone in line on the top side there, and Wesley, this does not bode well for that 37 truck. Look out, he's getting really close to the 5 truck right there.
Under 20 laps to go when they roar back to speed, cross the start-finish line at Triangle. And now they're getting good here. Everybody, I think, ready, complacent, got their tires, got their fuel. We mentioned money stop, John. You know they can go to the distance, and now it's time to see who your friends and your foes are, your teammates as well, as they work off turn number 2.
Turn number 2 sees the 5 truck with a good drafting partner, 21 right there. Anderson just fading to the back here. He has no help at all, so he's going to get back in line and help draft a little bit more. We got 19 to go right here, Sam. You see Smith sneaking back into this picture, too.
Yeah, for Kane Anderson, if he had those fresh tires from that of 15 laps ago, easily could have made those inside lane passes work and looked phenomenal. But everyone's recognizing you cannot make passes unless you are in the draft or have an assistance. And for that Smith, he says, you know what, let's get gutsy, let's give it a try, sending it down below.
Well, he did it the right way, though.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wesley.
No, I was going to say, John, somehow he just literally saved that truck from wrecking in front of Anderson.
Well, he did that pass the right way, though. If you watch the way he did, he drafted right up onto the left rear quarter of that truck, then used the side draft to pull him back as he dove down to the inside of the turn. That was a textbook pass here at Michigan.
17 to go now when they come to the start-finish line. Look at this three-truck battle now. Raz, Breitzman, and Yee for the lead. This goes on into turn number 1 and 2. And look who's also smiling down. West and King, the orange 21, hooks up there. He threw the block on his teammate. King blocks Breitzman for West to get the Breitzman to the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's a big thing right now is find your partner and try to work with one another. Yee able to get Cole Raz, threw it down underneath the 46 after a slight mistake from that of Sean Breitzman, and now Yee and that of Cole Raz, they're feeling comfortable up front. This is a dominating position for both drivers to be in. If you've got a partner in front of you, you can really keep the positioning up front with 16 laps to go.
We've got 22 laps on these tires. That's another thing that we need to keep in mind here. I think Breitzman got just a little loose earlier and scraped the wall. That's how he wound up losing the lead right there. Now he's got the 21 pressure, gets loose again right there. You saw it. This is the time of the run, folks, when these tires are getting real slick on these guys, and it's going to make for some interesting battles for position, especially up here in the top 5.
All of this happening as they work their way now back to turn number 4. 15 laps to go. Everybody stays single file. There's a little distance separated between everyone, and now it is time to go. There's still that car not a lap down, mind you. He's on the lead lap. Aaron Cooper is still in front of those leaders. Yee and Raz now battle for the lead, and the lap car is a pick on the back straightaway.
And right now, I don't think Cole Raz is thinking about making the pass just yet. He's got to have another driver behind him to help on the straightaways if there's not enough space to do a dive bomb and slide job move by the 10. And Aaron Cooper, like that of John was noting on earlier, on the fact that the draft from the 71 is helping out our leaders on the straightaway. It's the corners where it can help at other moments as well. Do want to give note on our recent cautions that came out. Dan West Jr. issues with his headset as King sending it there for second.
No!
Whoa! Hold on there, King. He's not done yet. And Breitzman will capitalize down to the inside. Raz will pull up in front of Breitzman while King has his issues. And now Devin West can still not capitalize on that three-truck tandem, John, going to turn number 3.
Well, you know, he sort of did it right, but then he got loose right there after making that pass. He did the exact same thing that we saw earlier with the other truck, where he drafted right up onto the corner, and as he dove down into the inside, he just went close enough to the left rear corner to get a side draft and slow that guy down. Unfortunately for him, he got loose. Great save. You got to say that. Great save right there. Meantime, look at this. Anderson's still trying to make some ground up on the bottom there, Sam. He's just not going to get it done right there like that.
No, and the tires, that front right tire really starting to hurt for that 37 of Kane Anderson. He's not really able to hold as much speed as he once was, that of even 5 laps ago. And the 37 still irking and trying to get any position he can, recognizing, hey, if a yellow comes out, I still have a chance to win this race, but I need the track position. If that yellow comes out, I need to be closer up front.
It is Raz. Now King battles to second. Oh, yes, you see those trucks right there? The lap truck in front of them, or the truck on the tail end of the lead lap, because technically he's still in the lead. And mind you, John, he's going to fight. He's going to claw. He's going to do everything he can, and it's okay to do that because he does not want to go a lap down.
No, he doesn't. But I'll tell you what, the 66 of Justin Yee got wicked loose on exit of turn 2 right there. And in this far into the run, that's going to do nothing but help destroy those tires. He's going to lose 2 more spots, I predict, Sam, as we come down the front stretch into turn 1. I think Anderson and West are getting by him here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of pick and choose who you want to help out the best here. And for Yee from the lead back to 4th, and he's got to figure out how to hold back. But speaking of the lead, Tyler King, trying to slide up, and he'll almost put the 10 in the wall.
Tyler becomes the heir to the throne. He'll put the orange 21 Ford to P1 and battle Cole Raz. Side by side now as they go to the lead into turn 3 with a lap truck up on the outside. The truck of Cooper all in this battle. Now, if a caution was to come out as they come to the line with 10 to go, Cooper's on the lead lap. First truck a lap down is Johnson in the 7 in 18th right now, John.
Yeah, I was just going to say this. If he stays in front, which I don't think he's going to do right here, plus he can't be involved in the incident or else he won't be able to get the way around. But
that's right.
I don't think it's going to matter now. He's going to lose this spot now. He's going to give up that spot on the lead lap. And if he's got... Or is he going to give up? I don't know.
He's not giving up.
He ain't giving up. Look at it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that run on the outside, you just get such a burst of speed because you're able to get back into the throttle so much quicker than the driver on the inside. And the angling allows you to keep that momentum. And with the drafting help, the 71 was looking on the backstretch, but no longer having that help. I mean, if you're Cooper, just fall back, get in line, follow this amazing battle, and hope that you don't get involved with the wreck.
And if a caution does come out, know that you're going back on the lead lap. 9 laps to go. Cooper hung up on the outside as finally the fast traffic overtakes him. King to the lead. Wow, up on the top right. Kevin Smith and Devin West, John, they were getting antsy going to 3.
Yes, they are. And I don't know how much patience Justin Yee is going to have for Aaron Cooper right now. He knows he's a lap down, and Yee wants to get some of these spots back that he lost when he got out of shape earlier. We'll see how this works out for he and Cooper. In the meantime, up front, King's got the lead. Raz wants it. Sam, I don't know how this is going to end up coming out of turn 2.
I mean, this is, it's looking scrappy, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little bit more dirty with the way that these drivers have been running all night long, with the big wrecks that have happened, with the fact that a lot of these drivers up front don't have a fast repair. You'd think that they would ease off a little bit, but we're less than 10 laps to go, inching closer to 5 laps to go, and anyone inside of our top 6 still have an opportunity to win this race.
All the while, they work their way out of turn number 4. They're coming to start finish. It is 7 laps to go. John, if you're going to make your move on King, you better do it now. Time is running out. Less than 14 miles remain here at Michigan.
Cole Raz hears you. Cole Raz wants to obey, but I don't know if he's got the tires left for it as we see these guys diving down in turns 1 and 2. Still, Cooper in that 71 truck up there in the middle of all this excitement. King likely sees in his mirror right now. These guys are slicing and dicing. And Sam, I think right now this race is King's to lose.
I mean, King is looking good, but Ken Anderson, Justin Yee, we thought maybe those tires were done. If they could somehow get by that of the lap traffic now of Aaron Cooper, they've got an opportunity to still strike. But Cole Raz, he wants to see teammates in his rear bumper that would allow him to utilize the draft to really conquer that of King. But right now, the lap car of Cooper is saving King right now.
6 laps to go. Yee to the bottom. Anderson will follow. Lap truck of Cooper now is a pick on the outside. And now the top 2 trucks single file. King 1 truck length back is Raz, maybe 2.5. That goes on as they go into turn number 3, John.
Down through 3 we go one more time. Coming to 5 to go next time by. King still in front. Raz still in second. Anderson and King fighting with Cooper for 3rd, even though Cooper's a lap down. He's all up in their business right now, Sam. And I got to wonder how much patience is Anderson going to have with that lap truck.
5 to go.
Yeah, that's the big thing. How much patience is there? And you would have thought that maybe Yee and also that of Anderson would have worked with one another, utilized the draft to help. But it looks like right now, Cole Raz backing off and now trying to help in any way, but not holding that inside line. You would think that he would to try to help get a little bit more help.
Makes a move to the inside, to the outside, back to the bottom. Here comes Yee. pushes up on the lap truck of Cooper. He's got to run on the inside. Can he drift up in front of Cooper to make something work on the outside lane? No, he cannot. Raz will drift up high. He'll throw the block. Then he comes back to the bottom. Throws the block on Yee. 4 to go as they go back into turn number 1.
All this happening behind King. Sam King still has that lead, and he is loving, absolutely loving what he's seeing in his mirror. The guy's fighting with the lap truck. The guy's fighting for second place now. He's got to love what he's seeing with 4 to go.
That's the big thing. Will the battle for second place overcome trying to go after Tyler King? Now, in line is that Cole Raz, Justin E.K. Anderson. They've gotten by Cooper, and now all you got to see for the 21 is hope that he's got some type of draft help behind him. Otherwise, he's a sitting duck coming to 3 laps to go.
6 top 5s, 12 top 10s for the driver of the American touch-up entry. Hills Orange's number 21. No wins this year. He's trying to change that. Less than 6 miles remaining off of turn 2 to the back straightaway. And you're on board from the tailgate of King as he is trying to hold off the Calgary. It is the King in his court now going to turn number 3.
Down into turn 3, but you keep your eyes as we look back from the window here on that white truck of Raz, that 10 truck. His nose is a little loose right here, Sam. I saw the last couple of times by. He's losing a little bit of ground in his turns because he's a little bit loose, and that's letting him kind of get back there in the grasp of Yee as we come down to the tri-wall as they pass up the lap car stab now.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow kind of hurting the 10's exit just by a mere second, but here comes the draft assistance, and Cole Raz each lap closer and closer, and now dive bombing it. He's trying to make the slot job work.
And remember, those are super friends working their way off of turn number 2. King gets sideways. You thought he was going to slam the wall. He keeps it off the safer barrier. He still battles with Raz down to the inside. Yee will follow. Anderson is there, and they send it to turn number 3.
Down to turn number 3, the Super Friends on the inside, King on the outside, try to maintain something of a lead here. He's going to lose the lead, but how far back will we fall? In the meantime, Raz back out front now. Will Anderson take this 3 wide? I don't know. Let's find out, Sam.
Oh, it's crazy, but it's the final lap. It's on, and Wesley, it's all Cole Raz. He's got the help, but will they betray him on the backstretch?
The CRN 1 to go is up down the back straightaway for the final time. Trucks now side by side. One just went spinning down to the bottom of the apron. We still stay green. It is Raz, Yee, Anderson, 1, 2, and 3. This goes on into turn number 4 for the final time. John, who's going to win it?
Cole Raz coming out of 4 for the last time. He's got a great lead, but in the meantime, in the back, King's bumping and pushing on Anderson. You got Yee in the middle of these guys. Cooper watching off here up to the line. Cole Raz takes the win.
Cole Raz will probably take the points lead back from Dennis Moore as that continues to flip-flop back and forth this year. And he picks up now his 5th win this year in the trucks of the Northwest.
And tonight's just the number of 5ths because another driver got 5th. I mean, pole sitter, that of Kevin Smith got his 5th win now for the 10. What a night for Cole Raz. For a majority of these drivers up front, what a rebound night with all the big ones that struck in the first half of this race.
Oh, yeah, a lot of big wrecks. And you talk about Dennis Moore, our points that are coming tonight, finishes 27th, 62 laps down. Rough night for the points there, so absolutely going to give that lead back up to Cole Raz here. And Cole kind of have a little momentum coming into tonight. We talked about this last week, Wesley and Sam. He's coming off of a nice super late model win in real life out there at the Speedway.
He certainly did. A matter of fact, John, I was just getting ready to throw that stats out there, buddy. He picked up the win last Saturday night at the South Sound Speedway and the South Sound 200, of course, for Ernest Performance and his race team, and of course Port City Race Cars. And now the celebration begins for Cole Raz again. And Samuel, it's like we mentioned several times, it's that transition of real race car drivers doing virtual racing, and sometimes it's perfect. It's a magical conjunction because they just can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, any experience at all, it is always a blessing to have. And for Cole Raz and many of others that do real life racing, it translates over very nicely as we take a look at our unofficial racing results.
Yeah, here's a look at it. We'll just go 10 by 10 by 10, guys, since we had 30 trucks. Cole Raz is the winner. Justin Yee is second. Caden Anderson third. Tyler King fourth. Sean Brightsman is fifth. Devin West, Kevin Smith, Paul Newton, Troy Daggett, Chris White. And as we go down to the rest of the rundown again, John, the rest of the finishing order, as I said and mentioned many times, good to see new names up in the front of the finishing top 10.
Absolutely. Frank Harris coming in 11th, Stephen O'Hare 12th, Casey Garber 13th, Carl Book 14th, Aaron Cooper put a heck of a fight on trying to stand that lead lap. He's there in 15th. Dean Moore in 16th, Jeff Stabnow 17th, Brett Johnson 18th, Chris Kamir 19th, and Sam Tyler Kim rounds out your top 20.
And then finishing out our top 30, it's going to be starting out in 21st position, Ryan Bloom with Ron Hunter in 22nd. And then the rest of the drivers that could not finish out this race with internet troubles on track or other issues. John Ottbacher in 23rd position. Toby Ritter is going to get 24th. Dan West Jr. 25th. Angel Ortega going to take 26th. 27th, Dennis Moore with BJ Tidrick in 28th. 29th, Briar Reynolds. And Noah Sherwinski going to be your top 30 that started here tonight.
William Fletcher, again, unable to start this race as well, connecting of the 31 attempts of entries. 30 took the green flag. All right, when we come back, finish line, post-race wrap-up, we are going to grab a word of the top 3 as well as Cole Raz. Waited patiently to pounce on the king. He gets it done, and with the help of some friends along the way, he picks up his 5th win this year in the Northwest Racing Series trucks. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest Racing Series here at Michigan. We're ready now for the finish line post-race wrap-up, and my colleague John Muschin is going to grab a word with our third-place driver here.
I am indeed, and here we are, third-place driver, Mr. Anderson. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Well, we're out of breath because you guys just can't seem to chill out for 50 laps and then go racing. What a night, man. What did you think about that first 50 laps, and at what point did you think you'd actually be able to finish this thing and get you a good top run there?
Yeah, I feel like there at the beginning, a lot of drivers were driving with no respect, and just, you know, we have 100 laps on a 1.5 mile, 2 mile track. I don't understand why we're trying to go 4 and 5 wide on lap 13, but overall I feel like we had a great setup. The 6 of us, me, Cole, Justin Yee, Casey Garber, Briar Reynolds, and Noah, were trying to all work together, and unfortunately 2 of them got knocked out and 1 got put in the back, but our setup obviously prevailed, and we finished 1, 2, 3, so I feel like we did really good there.
Well, man, up in the booth, we had a blast on a great race tonight. Who do you want to thank for your run tonight, bud?
Yeah, I want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, Studio 10 Wraps, and that's it.
There you have it, folks. Third place driver Caden Anderson. Great run tonight in that 37 truck. Looking to see him carry this momentum forward going into the last 2 races before the 12-point cutoff. I believe Sam's caught up with our second place driver, Justin Yee.
That I have, John. Justin, what a run for yourself, finishing second here tonight. Overall, it looked like this was a night of just mentally get your head down and finish out this race. How was it for you, though, in those final stages?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, considering that none of us really tried out the race setup before the race, and it was a lot looser than we thought. So we had to make some adjustments on it during the race, but that last run, we got it really dialed in. And basically, we took some of the loose out of the car, and we were able to kind of drive it a little more aggressively. And with that, it was a really interesting dynamic at the end. It was 3 teammates versus 1 guy, but there was a lap car that was breaking up air. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. And I mean, yeah, there's an argument that it's kind of disrespectful, but honestly, it was kind of a fun experience. So I'll take it.
Well, touching on the 3 versus 1 there, Justin, we saw that lap car. We saw, you and Caden being side by side. At what moment was it a shift of, oh, we got to use the draft, we got to get by this lap car? Because it seemed like, from us up at the booth, it seemed like the reaction should have been a little bit sooner. But what was your thoughts on that?
We were kind of fighting over how to pass the lap car. I was convinced that we could do it on the bottom if we all lined up. But I think there was another idea of trying to get to the outside or trying to push the lap car to be in a position to where they're kind of vulnerable going into the corner. And I'd already made contact with enough drivers today, and I was on his bumper. Usually I didn't really want to send him. If it was 2 to go, I probably would have sent him, to be honest with you. But we were able to get past him doing that bottom teaming up drafting. The toughest part was not that he was breaking up the air, it was that he was on 10 lap newer tires than we were. So it's we're in theory 2/10 a lap off of him. The draft is keeping us there, but we really had to work together to get past him.
Well, still a very incredible finish there, Justin. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/DJ with J being JAY at the end. And I post ARCA guides every week. I post C-Fix guides whenever I feel like trucks are fun to run, and other videos whenever I feel like it. Up to 1.3K subs right now, hoping to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. That'd be really awesome. So if anyone wants to check that out, learn a little bit, maybe teach me a little bit too in the comments, that happens quite a bit.
Well, that's going to be the 66 of Justin Yee coming away with second place. Congratulations, Justin, and good luck heading over to Richmond next week.
Thanks a lot.
As from second place, we head to Victory Lane, where Wesley's got our winner.
5th win this year for the driver of Mr. Cole Raz. Of course, the winner at South Bend Speedway in the 200 lapper last Saturday as well. A lot of great momentum things going for you, Cole. Congratulations to you today. Your take of a wild race at Michigan.
Thank you, first and foremost, Wesley. It was pretty wild. We were put through the ringer, getting wrecked there once or twice. So we really got off strategy on where I wanted to be with our teammates there. I was all out of tires, so if we had a late race yellow, that kind of would have ended our race for sure. But overall, to be able to rebound like that and come home with a win and kind of steal one, it felt pretty good.
And by the way, correction, South Sound 200, the race win at South Sound Speedway you picked up. But I'll tell you what, this race, and we were talking about it in the broadcast booth, I came back from weather-related issues, and my, you guys are going 4 wide, 5 wide. Did it feel like it was restrictor plate Daytona, Talladega pack racing tonight amongst the things we saw where things kind of settled down in the second half? But that first half was just wild. Take me through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could share some similarities between the plate racing. I think this place, once the tires get worn out, you lose a lot of grip, so a lot more sliding around, and that makes for a lot of the incidents we've seen tonight. But the draft is just so huge around Michigan, so definitely some similarities, but it can get pretty hairy once those tires fall off, and tempers start rising as well with that.
Cole, and I was going to ask you to segue this also into your questions for closing. Why do you think we saw something like this tonight, but we did not see it in the Cup race on Monday, where we had a long, close to 75-lap green flag run to the checkered flag?
I think for the Cup side, that setup was just so tight. There really wasn't a whole lot you could do with it. At least for ourselves and with these open setup races, we tend to shoot for the freer side for the longevity of the race. But I I don't know. I mean, maybe people just got too aggressive on their setups, and you start losing the rear grip on it, and it starts leading people hanging it out sideways and wrecking into one another. So I don't really know. I think I don't know. People try and translate the side draft into these trucks, which just doesn't even exist. So we tried to tell them a few times throughout the night. It just didn't seem like that got through their head. But overall, really thankful for LSRTV for you guys putting this on, Northwest Tour, LSRTV, Master Wrench, Wells Johnson, Whiskey Ridge, Magnus Rear Ends, Ernest Performance Shots, and Gonna Go Race Engines. Everybody that helps us out on the real side means a lot. And we'll go on to Richmond Monday night and try and get another one on that side.
Yeah, there's the thoughts of, again, Cole Raz, and I'm pretty sure he's going to walk away with a points lead as well from Dennis Moore when things are said and done, as the reset has already been made and we go into Richmond next week. And by the way, you now have a 38-point lead unofficially on Cole Raz to Dennis Moore. So, Cole, congrats on that going into Richmond. And as John and Samuel have already parted ways, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Cole Raz winning his 5th win this year to go along with 12 top 5s and 14 top 10s. And now it's on to Richmond. 3 races left in the regular season for Samuel Dyer and John Muschin. For, of course, Jeff Stabnow and Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from Michigan. We'll do it again next Monday night with the Northwest Racing Series.